Live action underway from Madison Square Garden with a big night for Scott Harrison. But a great opportunity or a big gamble at this stage. Tracy, Harris, Patterson, twice former world champion, is the opponent. Let's get to Glenn and Ian.
Paul, thank you very much indeed. Welcome to Madison Square Garden. Filling up all the time. And there's the tail of the tape for this fight. Patterson, 35 now, and a veteran of 71 fights. Harrison has height advantages and reach advantages as well. But is he experienced enough, Glenn?
Well, I think that's the big test for him, if that's gonna happen.
Check on the rules there, a bit different. The 3 knockdown rule, notably, is in effect under the New York rules. Let's join our MC, Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madison Square Garden, New York City, where tonight, Panics of the USA main events and your undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present this bout scheduled for 10 rounds in the featherweight division, sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. Your 3 judges assigned at ringside are Julie Letterman, Larry Hazard Jr., and John McKay. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Joe Santarpia. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing blue trimmed with white and weighs in at 130 1/4 pounds. He comes to us from New Paltz, New York, with an outstanding professional record, 63 victories, 7 losses with 1 draw, 43 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the former 3-time world champion, Tracy Patterson. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trimmed with gold, weighing in at 128 pounds. His record, 9 victories with 3 KOs, only 1 loss and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Glasgow, Scotland, Scott Harrison.
Referee Joe Santarpia here.
I want a good, clean fight. Are there any questions? Shake hands now, and God bless you both.
What a moment this is for Scott Harrison. Is he biting off a little more than he can chew here? We've seen young British fighters go into the Garden before. Ricky Hatton, Danny Williams on the way through, but this is a different thing again. Tracy Harris Patterson in his 72nd fight in the blue shorts here. Former 2-time world champion, super bantamweight and super featherweight as well. Harrison, only his 12th fight. He was an outstanding amateur before that. But he's usually pretty methodical and solid, and he seems mature beyond his 22 years to me as well.
Yes, he does, but this is a big step up in class, and also being in New York, it's a lot for a young man to take on board, and really he's just got to hope that he can keep cool and he can box his own fight.
Patterson beaten recently by Junior Jones, who we're going to see later against Paul Ingle. Went the full 12 rounds. He's usually pretty durable, even at the age of 35, Patterson. Solid enough start here by Harrison. Black trunks of the Scot, whose father was a Scottish lightweight champion. He's in the corner, Peter.
I think it's important for Harrison to have a good start here. He needs to get the respect of Patterson right from the start.
It's definitely a calculated gamble by the Harrison camp. If he does win this, he can project himself towards world class in one go. Certainly not looking phased or anything. Nice double jab though by Patterson, who's always been a good technician. son, of course, of the famous world heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson. Though they've had an occasionally strained relationship along the way. No sign of nerves from Harrison, Glenn.
There's not. He looks as if he's gotten into the fight very well. He's concentrating well, and he looks focused.
Throwing plenty of punches as well. Just missing with that big right hand. Harrison nice and neat on his feet, going backwards. He was a European junior champion when he was only 17, Scott Harrison. And he nearly made the Olympics as well in '96, losing in a box-up.
That's really had a remarkable amateur career, did all that, and that was only in 28 fights. So, he adopted to the game very well.
Yeah, he's a natural. Good right hand, though. That's a very good shot on the counter from Tracy Harris. Patterson right near the belt. Not much in that opening round.
No, there wasn't. Not much at all. It was a decent enough start, but I think Patterson maybe just did slightly more.
Move away, please, right behind. Be first with the jab. Right. Be first with the jab. Okay.
That's Peter Harrison, the former champion himself, doing the talking. But he never had to mix at this kind of level.
This guy, just put them together.
You go stand there and wait, you go take it, all right?
And it's swelling around the eyes for Tracy Harris Patterson. Might be precautionary, all that.
There's the right hand from Patterson, which was a good punch. Just caught Harrison coming in a little bit. Just pushed him onto the back foot there.
Second round coming up. By the way, Patterson's dad, Floyd, had 13 world heavyweight title fights. He was a New Yorker, and none of them were at Madison Square Garden. Huge test then for Harrison. He's bound to be asked a few questions, the like of which he's never been posed before here. Just that little bit busier so far, but just finding some gaps with that right hand again, Patterson.
Yes, this is a solid start from Patterson. He's planting his feet. He's just hitting maybe a little bit harder than Harrison. His punches are a bit more correct. Harrison just needs to start picking up the work rate.
And looking a little vulnerable too to that right hand. Bit of bad blood, by the way, between the camps at the weigh-in this morning. Patterson struggled to get down to the prescribed weight. Took 1.5 hours to do it. They made him get right the way down, and he was shouting across the room at Frank Maloney and the Scott Harrison camp.
This is a little better now from Harrison. Just a nice combination, and then good left and right hook.
Just a question of how much is left, really, for Tracy Harris Patterson. How much does he want it anymore? Good shots from Harrison. Not all of them clean, but good combinations.
Really, that's what he needs to do more of. He's got to keep his punches going in little flurries like that, and I think that will just maybe be a bit too much for Patterson.
Good round of action, this. Pretty even Steven again. Some good shots coming in from Scott Harrison, who's beginning to find his timing. Doesn't look like an 11-fight novice, does he?
He doesn't. Puts his combination together very well, but when Patterson tries to up the pace, Harrison has to go with him.
Youth, desire, ambition on Scott Harrison's side here. And the occasion, of course, Madison Square Garden, dream for any fighter to perform here, particularly one as young as him. But Patterson's having his successes too, and looks competitive enough at the moment. We fact, have wondered if he was going to look like an old man in there, but that has not been the case yet. What do you think so far, Glenn?
Last 10 seconds.
It's a close fight and a good match.
Right. Okay. He tries to throw his right every last half, every 30 seconds, okay? It's good. That's good, Scott.
Scott Harrison from Cambuslang, just outside Glasgow. He's been boxing since he was 15.
Brilliant.
Another one of those football fanatics who would have loved to play the game, but found he was better with his fists.
He tries to log into a false sense of security and he'll try and drop the right, okay? Keep working together back. Let's get up his eyes, fellas. Alright. Right. Needs you to step this up. You gotta put the punches together, bro.
Tracy, who was born in '65, just after his dad's heyday. Here's the third round of this one. Black trunks of Scott Harrison from Scotland, the Commonwealth featherweight champion after his good solid win over Pat Mullings. Trying to take the shortcut to the top here. It's a bold gamble, but it's the kind of thing you quite like to see. He doesn't look out of his depth so far.
He doesn't, and I think a win here would really take him on so far in confidence and, you know, do wonders for his career.
Well, it'd even put him in the shake-up for Naz, wouldn't it? Maybe not yet, but somewhere not too far down the road if he can perform at this level. It's good defensive skills by Patterson, getting the gloves up. His dad used to have that peekaboo style. He almost invented it. The right hand is a danger punch from Patterson.
Yes, that's the punch that they're worried about a little bit. Nice little move there from Harrison, just stepping to the side and catching Patterson off balance.
And a tribute, really, to Scott Harrison, that the knowledgeable Madison Square Garden audience are pretty absorbed in this. It's good stuff so far. Oh, great right hand from Patterson. Sharp left hook as well. He hasn't lost it all yet, not by a long chalk.
No, he still touches punches together very solidly, Patterson.
Hitting the gloves a lot in this round, Scott Harrison. Good right hand from him. But better punch economy for me from Tracy Harris Patterson in this session. There he is again, doubling up on the jab. Patterson still will have his burning pride. Won't want to lie down for every fresh young hopeful that they parade before him.
Well, he really has got so much experience in this game, Tracy Harris Patterson, being in with some really top performers.
He's really getting there with very stiff jabs in this round, Patterson. Harrison maybe just needs to tighten up a little. Right hand too.
Yes, he's just got to try and up the tempo, try and beat Patterson to the punch.
That's Patterson's round for me. Got hit more in that round, Scott Harrison.
That's good. That's good. Good.
Very quiet, no nonsense sort of corner, isn't it?
Well, I think that's how a corner should be. He just listens to his father, and then his father gives him the right advice.
Take and tuck and take defense. Play your jab. You're throwing some good punches here, Paul, right? Yeah. Good punches. Make sure you're using the right foot across, okay? Keep adjusting. Keep adjusting.
Billy Nelson in that corner as well as Mick Williamson doing the cuts. And there's the Patterson corner. He's based now at Highland in upstate New York.
I want combination. Okay. Closer than they need it.
There's that shot from Harrison, just that jab just seemed to jolt him a little bit off balance there.
Fourth round. Scott Harrison, black trunks. Patterson's jab beginning to look quite effective. He's beginning to get peppered, isn't he, with that left jab all the time now, Harrison, which wasn't happening earlier on.
Yes, I think he's just been a little too upright. Just needs to start giving it a bit of movement from side to side with his upper body. He's getting caught time and time again with that solid jab.
Got there with a good right hand, Harrison, though. But are there signs that the old pro is just beginning to work him out a little? Just might need a tad more variety.
Yes, I think he just needs to lift his game, to lift his boxing speed, you know, go through the gears a bit more than he's doing.
Doubling up on that jab again, Patterson. You don't become a two-time world champion for nothing. Made 4 defences of his super bantamweight crown, which he won initially from Thierry Jacob.
Nice defensive work there from Patterson, just slipping the punches and catching with his hands.
But Patterson has come back in these last couple of rounds. The first 2 were even-ish. Maybe Harrison might have just nicked them. Plenty hitting the gloves so far in this round. Not that right hand from Patterson.
Nice right hand from Harrison to match it, and that's better when he tries to up the tempo and throw more punches, but he's got to be more accurate.
Welcome to the deep blue ocean. You'd presume that Patterson's stamina is still okay at the age of 35. He went 12 rounds with Junior Jones, so should be okay, shouldn't he, on that score?
Yes, you'd think so, as long as he can keep it at his pace.
Round 5. Feel good? Here's a right foot to step across. See, sometimes he's just waiting for you coming in. You're always in the one spot for him, okay? Sometimes just come back a wee bit, okay? So you think he's going to think a wee bit harder. I mean, he knows that you're always there, okay? You're always there because you're always...
He says he's feeling good, Glenn.
Up and down. Use that jab. Use that jab.
Well, he really needs to feel good. It's a tough test for him, this one, and for me, the Patterson's just got it and fighting at his pace, and it needs something bigger, a little bit more from Harrison. He needs to try and upset the pace, upset the tempo that Patterson is setting.
I want that fire, baby. I want to go. I want to
Fifth round of a scheduled 10-rounder. Easily the biggest night of Scott Harrison's career here. Black trunks, remember, for the Scott, following people like Ken Buchanan, who appeared here at the Garden, lost his world lightweight title against Roberto Duran. It's hard luck to run into somebody like him. Gary Jacobs fought here as well and got a bit of a shock when he stepped up in class against Buddy McGirt. Just a bit more head movement maybe from Scott Harrison might help him to slip one or two of these jabs.
Yes, that's what's needed. He hasn't got a good rhythm. He's not moving from side to side with his upper body. He needs to get more of a rhythm. Just loosen up a bit. I think he's still a bit tense.
He's having to think in there, probably like never before. The problem is with a fighter like Tracy Harris Patterson, even though he's aging, is he'll be assessing the guy in front of him, and he'll be starting to fancy his chances more and more. If he feels it's a winnable fight, he won't just be going through the motions. But this is a bit better now from Harrison, last 20 seconds or so.
One of the big problems has been this jab of Patterson. He just hasn't really been able to get out of the way of it, Harrison, and he needs to start slipping that punch.
Because it'll become pretty sickening, won't it, to keep on eating that up all night.
But also Patterson is just getting his rhythm and getting his distance right with that punch, and then he's going to bring the right hand into play.
Good body shot there from Harrison. This is definitely the A-level course, though, for young Harrison. He's definitely not being outclassed, is he, or anything like that. He's finding it quite hard, though, at this level, to really dominate in the way he'd like. But he must have known it might be like this.
Yes, he's still getting through with the odd decent punch. He's still, catching Patterson from time to time. He's still giving a good account of himself. He just needs a little bit more if he's going to start winning the rounds.
Well, he's still a pretty useful fighter, isn't he?
Yes, he still knows the game very well. He's been in with some of the best fighters around, and he's obviously learned an awful lot.
Pro for 15 years, and he's had 176 contests, amateur and pro.
Come on, man, you ain't tired. No. You're ready to go, brother. You're ready to go. Let your hands go to work. All right? Concentration's the key here. Nice compact punchy throw, okay?
I just wonder if Harrison's preparation might have been that bit better, thinking that Patterson struggled a bit to make the weight this morning.
It may be a point. I'm sure Patterson has done the work properly. He's very experienced. He's been through it all. Maybe that was just a slip up.
Here comes round 6. That left jab of Tracy Harris Patterson becoming the dominant feature of the contest. That's bad news for Scott Harrison. He's getting peppered with it. No head movement's the problem. No lateral movement either.
Well, somehow he's got to try and nullify that jab, so he needs to bring his own right hand into play a little bit. He needs to, every time he throws a jab, he needs to key a right hand off, just to sicken Patterson from throwing the left so much.
Signs of one or two swellings, puffiness maybe around the eyes of Patterson. Has to be a question mark, I suppose, about his legs and deep down desire when you go into the late rounds at this late stage of his career.
Well, there would be, if he can make him fight at a higher level.
As we might have expected, Patterson just looking the superior technician, wasting rather less.
Showing some decent variety there, Harrison. The uppercut and the left hook, but needs to build on that more.
I bet he's learning plenty in there. And what he's learning most is the difference, I should think, between operating at domestic level and up at world level.
Well, I think this is like going through all of your years at school in one day.
And can he pass the exam at the end of it? That's a decent left hook from Harrison.
It's just been a little less from Patterson in this round, and this is where Harrison needs to pick it up. He needs to up the tempo.
Patterson's right eye just getting a bit worse. More swelling than cut, as far as we can see anyway. Better from Harrison. He might have nicked that one, you know.
Yes, I think I would have given that one just a little bit better work rate. The Patterson work rate dipped slightly, and Harrison went with it.
So how have you got it at the moment?
I've got Patterson ahead by 4.
4?
Sorry, 2.
2. I've got it closer than that. I've got it more or less level at the moment. I gave Harrison just the first 2. I've given him that last one. I had one of the others even, so maybe that's being a bit generous to him.
Once you're moving years, there's the wee uppercut. Okay. Too much, all right? Let's pick it up on him. Hit his body, man.
Can I get some combination shots? Hey, Tracy. You gotta turn them shots. You can't miss this fucking guy, G.
Twice, this is the 7th round here.
Gets hard work, doesn't it, at this stage for a 35-year-old, I guess.
Yes, this is when it starts to get hard. The legs and the stamina just starts to take a bit of a pounding. He needs to pick it up, Patterson, and sometimes you reach in there when you get to that age and it's just not there anymore.
7th round here at Madison Square Garden on this cracking night of boxing. So much more to come, culminating in Lennox Lewis against Michael Graham. Be a good start for British boxing if Scott Harrison could pull this one off. The feeling is that there's not much in this at the moment. Three judges might have other ideas. And they're all local officials. Unfortunately for Scott Harrison, there are no Scots. That was a good left hook from him there. That landed more cleanly than most from the Scot.
And when Harrison does connect, the balance doesn't look that good of Patterson when Harrison gets his punches on.
This is better from Scott Harrison here. There's less coming back from Patterson. Is he just beginning to fade a little here?
Well, there looked a few signs of that in the last round when Patterson did less work. So this is a good opportunity now for Harrison to really start opening the tempo and take the fight to Patterson.
Right eye closing still. This is better from Scott Harrison now. That's nice work with his feet too, going backwards. Pity he can't get a bit more head movement into it. And he's growing in confidence. This is decent stuff here from Scott Harrison in the 7th.
Well, he needed a round like this. He needed to stage in the fight where he could start getting his punches off and start getting looser with that.
He might be encouraged by development so far in this round. Taking the fight to Patterson, who's on the back foot quite a bit in this round.
And he's doing the right thing as well. He's switching from head to body. Harrison, if there is some problems with stamina, with age, give some good shots to the body, and that'll really tell.
This is Harrison's best round yet. He's a gritty, tough youngster with plenty of drive and ambition.
Well, it was a good right from Patterson there, but Harrison came straight back with a left hook of his own.
Looks like a smear of blood around the nose too of Patterson. A good left hook to the body too. He's beginning to show a better repertoire
I think that's coming from confidence, just the feeling in there that he's getting confidence, and then all of a sudden it's much better from him.
He's beginning to look a mess, Patterson. He got worked over in that round. That's a massive round for Scott Harrison. That it might be a breakthrough round in the whole contest for him. There's Frank Maloney watching on, honored last night by the American Boxing Writers Association as one of the managers of the year alongside Panos Eliades, his partner. Be a nervous wreck tonight, won't he, with Lennox coming up later?
Next two
He certainly will. He looks a nervous wreck.
Round 8. Round 8. Round 8. Round 8. 3 rounds. 3 hard rounds. Scott Harrison. 3 hard rounds. Just watch his new hand, Scott. He's sucking. Pick it up. Deep breath.
Now,
I want you going out there like
beginning to fade and look a bit tired.
Now you have nothing to lose from here on out. Come on.
Well, he certainly looked it. It was much better from Harrison. He's not done as much in the last 2 rounds.
I now have Harrison in a slight lead. This is the 8th. Scott Harrison, the Commonwealth featherweight champion, but only in his 12th fight here, remember, in the black trunks, the 72nd fight of the 2-time world champion Tracy Harris Patterson. Sorry that the names sound a bit similar, can't do much about that.
Harrison needs to keep these punches coming, needs to keep a good work rate and just keep the combinations going in.
Still pumping out that jab, Patterson, but not so frequently. And I tell you what, these body shots, I think, have slowed him up that Scott Harrison's been putting in the last 2 or 3 rounds. These left hooks to the body.
Yes, I think that's bothered him a few times, the left hook to the body, and also, you know, the variety from head to body. That is very hard in a fight when you're being hit. You know, you don't know where to defend.
Now this youngster could really give Scotland a boxing moment to be proud of if he can do this here. He's still up for grabs. Patterson's come back a little in this round. Just cannot miss with that jab, can he, Patterson? Cannot miss.
Hasn't had some success with his right hand there. He needs to throw that a bit more than he's doing.
That's good left hook. Just seemed slightly to wobble Patterson momentarily there. It might have been his balance.
Yes, he does seem to do that. When he connects right, the balance doesn't seem good from Patterson.
That eye's almost shut now, the right eye of Patterson. You might not see that left hook coming.
Patterson just slowing down towards the end of the round, and this is where Harrison needs to build up and start letting much more punches go.
Caught by a right hand as well from Patterson, who's dug quite deep here. That's a good right over the top too from Harrison, who's come on strong a bit in the second half of the round, having been well out jabbed early in the session.
Oh, it's nice when he does it like that. Harrison picks up the punches well.
Not a lot in that one, was there?
No, that was an even kind of round with Patterson having the beginning of it and Harrison come back at the end.
The one thing is, they don't score even rounds here. I met one American judge who said he'd never scored an even round in his life.
Well, what can you do?
You have, haven't you?
I have. I've had 1 or 2 even ones.
Wasn't it the Luxembourg judge who scored 11 out of 12 even once in a European title
I think
fight?
it was. He sat on the fence. He's still on the fence.
2 rounds. You have to turn it up. You would throw 1 punch at a time.
He used to be indecisive, but now he's not quite so sure.
This guy is there to be hit. You have to knock him out.
Well, they're saying you've got to knock him out. They think he's behind, I think, in that corner.
Well, they could be doing that, or they could think it's close and they want a couple of big rounds from him to finish off to make sure of it. Well, that's how I've got it. I've still got Patterson 1 point ahead.
This is the 9th round, and a lot of the rounds have been close-ish here. A lot might depend on how the first 2 were scored. They were pretty hard to pick a winner in. Last couple of rounds. Harrison reaching out for a defining victory in his embryonic professional career. Black trunks. I think both corners will have told their men, look, you've got to win these last 2 sessions.
Well, he does look good when he lets his combinations go, Harrison. I think that's what he's got to concentrate on. He's got to keep clusters of punches going in.
Harrison on the prowl, on the hunt again, making the fight, taking the fight to Patterson. He's just got to watch being ramrodded by that jab all the time, though.
Yes, he does, but it's where he needs to be. He needs to keep Patterson on the back foot. He's much better coming forward behind his own jab, Harrison.
I'll tell you what, Glenn, if he does lose this fight, it will be because of his inability to slip jabs.
Yes, I think that's been really the key on Patterson's point of view. That jab has been his best punch. But all in all, with the level of opposition, he is boxing very, very well, Scott Harrison. Good left hook to the body there, brought the elbow down. I think that one hurt Patterson.
Good stuff from Harrison in this round. We hear our American colleagues have Harrison in a handy lead on their scorecard. They may like the fact that he's taking the fight to Patterson all the time. They like this walk forward style. Now this is a good round again from Harrison here, and he's looking tired and blowing a bit, Patterson. That right eye shut, there's blood too from the nose.
Yes, I think he's having a great deal of difficulty seeing the punches coming in now. Getting a little more desperate, really trying to set the legs and look for that big overhand right. Patterson maybe feels he does need a knockout.
Harrison looking strong. This is a good performance from him. Thrown into the deep water. He swum all right. Caught with a right hand there from an increasingly desperate Patterson. And that's Harrison's round for me. Now I've got Harrison 2 up with 1 round to go. You've got it how?
I've got it even. I've got it all on the last round. I give Patterson a few more of the early ones that you give to Harrison.
Left jab here, okay, bang in his face, bang, bang, bang in his face, all the time, right?
Baby, that's the way you work. That's what we gotta have, man. We gotta have that animal back. We gotta have that animal this round.
Badly marked up. Patterson, and Harrison is totally unmarked. It's a good sign. He's obviously not going to be a fighter who cuts much. This Scott Harrison, he's had jabs in his face all night.
Yes, he has. He could have just moved his head a little bit more, and you know, he could have done much better.
How bad you want? How bad you want? I'm good, I'm good. How bad you want? You want it right now? You gotta go.
How bad do you want it, they're saying to Patterson. Well, let's see. Here comes the last session. Varying opinions at ringside about how this is going. Even between Glenn and I, I've got Harrison by a couple of points. Glenn, you've got it, what level you said, did you?
I've got level going into the last round.
Harrison in those black trunks, remember. I'll tell you what, even if it doesn't go his way, I think he's proved something here tonight. It's been a very respectable performance. It looks good.
It's been a good performance from Harrison. I think, you know, hard to find faults in him other than just the inability to slip the jab.
It's quite a big fault. They need to work on that one, all right. but he's only 22. Good right hand from Patterson. Just letting his gloves drop a little, Harrison, and getting reminders from Frank Maloney about that almost alongside us. The right eye is shut now of Tracy Harris Patterson. Cracking jab there from Harrison. It set Patterson right back on his heels for a moment.
Deep breath there from Patterson. He's really trying to just bring some power from the legs and transfer it in that overhand right.
I think there's been superior conditioning by the Harrison camp going into this, and of course the youth is on his side. 13 years younger. It's a lot fresher.
Again, looking good when he put that combination together. Harrison, he's just got to try and keep them going, finish the round up with lots of punches.
Yes, nicely done. 4-punch combination. I won't say Scott Harrison's been a revelation here tonight. I wouldn't put it that strongly, but it's been a cracking good performance from him.
Yes, it's been a very, very solid, classy performance. And look at that, that is eye-catching.
Took a right back, but there was about an 8-9 punch combination from Scott Harrison. He went right through the gears there. There he goes again. Now this will definitely take the eye of the judges, and no doubt about it. He's pulled out something here in this last round, and some approving glances, I can tell you, from the hard-to-please American ringsiders. Quite like what they're seeing from this young Scot.
Yes, there's a few gasps around the hall. They like fighters that put their punches in bunches like that.
Yeah, one or two little nods over towards us as if to say this kid can fight a bit. Harrison's last round, and no doubt about it, I think. There goes the final bell, and the two of them hug at the end of it. Approving words. I think Scott Harrison's won that, you know, Glenn, but I might be wrong. The judges might have seen it differently.
Well, there's a few close rounds early on that were difficult to score, but I think he pulled it away with the second half of the fight, Harrison, and that was a good win in very good class, and such a knowing opponent. He's learned a lot.
I've got it 97-94 for Scott Harrison.
I've got 96-95 for Scott Harrison.
He did very, very well. There's confirmation of Glenn's card. He's got it to Harrison by 1. Julie Lederman, daughter of Harold Lederman, the HBO TV judge, is among the 3 judges here. Larry Hazard Jr. and John McKee. They'll be doing the scoring. Of course, if it had been in London, it would have been just the referee deciding, and he would have lifted somebody's hand. That's not how they do things in America. So that's why Harrison has to wait. Has he got the biggest win of his career? Has he got a win that might well project him somewhere near the top 15, say, of the rankings? We'll find out now.
The Budweiser scorecards. Julie Lederman scores about 98-92. Larry Hazard Jr. scores at 97-93. And John McKay has it 99-91 to the winner by unanimous decision from Glasgow, Scotland, Scott Harrison.
And he got it by big margins, including one that was, what was that? 8 rounds to 1.
Massive margin.
9 rounds to 1.
So they really did like what they saw. It wasn't as close as we had it.
Well, that is a marvellous win for Scott Harrison. A fantastic win for him. Well done to him. And he now can start thinking about some very big things indeed. Took a gamble, paid off with dividends.